welcome to my channel. My name is Willow Rose Moondancer and I make videos here on YouTube about Wicca, and I also have a blog called Wiccans-Aren't-Wicked.com. Today I wanted to continue kind of this little mini series that I'm hoping to continue about all of the steps that we need to go through to get to ritual work or spell work. And so the last video, the first video, was about how to create a sacred circle. And today I want to talk about how to call upon different entities to join you in your practices. So I'm going to go through two different things. I'm going to go through the formal methods of how to call upon these deities, these entities, all these different beings, and then I'm going to go about how I do it, because if you haven't been here long, you will know that I am not a very formal person. I don't typically do things by the book. I do things the way I like to do them and what makes sense for me, and that's not always how it's written in the book. So we're going to start off with the formalities. So there are different ways to call upon different types of beings into your circle. These methods are summoning, stirring, there is also inviting, and there is calling. Summoning is more so for like entities that are close by and they're always around you. Stirring is for more higher level, more intense, strong beings that are very deserving of our respect. It's also, we're stirring them because they're often sleeping. When it comes to calling any entities, that's typically what we do for our deities. We call for them, and as long as it's done respectfully, they will come to us. And then when it comes to inviting, it means that you want these beings present, but you don't want them actually within your circle. So I'm going to go through a list of different entities and what method you would use to bring them into your circle. So first off, we have the elements. The elements are close, they're always nearby. For them, we would summon them. When it comes to the dragons, there are different ideas on like what the dragons are to us, depending on your beliefs on dragons. However, it's generally thought that you are to stir them to your circle. Then there are the guardians of the watchtowers, which are also to be stirred. You have the winds, which you are supposed to request politely for their presence. Then there are fairies who are nearby all around us, so you summon them. You also summon the elementals and tree spirits. When it comes to deities, you call upon the deities as well as the angels, if you use angels and deities in your practices. The ancestors are beings who you are supposed to stir. Spirit guides, you're just supposed to request their presence. Spirit animals, they're always there. They're there to be summoned. And lastly, there are familiars, and familiars are there to be invited. It is important to note, however, that, for example, if you want to work with the fairies or the elementals or anything that is kind of like in the summoning category, but you don't want them directly in your circle, it is also okay to simply invite them, especially when it comes to beings from the Fae realm. They can be a little bit hard to work with if you aren't super familiar with them, and they can cause a lot of mischief within your circle, so it is probably a good idea to invite them unless you are familiar with how to work with them. Along with calling upon or summoning, inviting these beings, you need to also tell them what it is that you would want from them. So I like to call upon like the gnomes I like to invite them and I liked to ask them to protect the outside of my sacred circle for any negative energies and to keep me protected and safe. Um, that's just one example. So anytime that you call or summon or any entity in or around your circle, you need to tell them why you're doing it. So if I'm going to call upon Gaia, I will tell her it's to help me do my magical workings, it's to help me raise the energies or to help protect me while I'm doing it. If I were to call in the winds, it would be to help probably send a message, help send my spell quicker. If I were to call my spirit guides, it might be to give me advice. If I were to call the dragons or the guardians of the watchtowers, it would also likely be for protection or maybe wisdom. So those are just a couple ideas on like why you might be calling upon certain entities. If you would like me to do a video on the different things that these entities can help you with and what they are generally called upon for, let me know. I'd be more than happy to do a video about that. Or even if there's just certain entities here that you'd like to have a whole video dedicated to learn more about, I'd also be fine with doing that as well. Just let me know what you're interested in. I want to know. You guys are always so quiet. Another thing to consider is when you want to call upon these entities. So a lot of people I find they like to summon the elements while they are doing the casting of the circle. I'm pretty sure that's pretty common practice, even if it's not what I do. You can watch my Sacred Circles video if you want to know more about what it is that I do. And why, I guess more specifically if you want to know why, I will talk about the general methods that I use here, but I won't necessarily go into the why. And then it's more typically common, I believe, to call upon other things after the circle is already created. When it comes to my methods, I can't stand formality. It drives me crazy. I like to think that if there are beings out there that are willing to give us help, as long as we are being polite and considerate and respectful, I don't think that they necessarily view the formality as a necessity. I don't like praying formally. I don't like doing divination formally. I don't like doing any of that. I just kind of like to be very casual with things. So when I make my sacred circle, I make it. I don't call upon, summon anybody until it's all done. And when it is done, I don't necessarily use the word summon or stir or call or invite or anything. I just am very specific with what I'm asking for. So let's say I'm doing a ritual for Yule, and I would like the elements. I would like maybe Apollo, and I would like Gaia, I guess, to be there in my ritual. Let's say that I would like the gnomes there, and I would like my spirit guides and my ancestors. The way I would normally go about this is I would make my circle, and then I'd say if the elements would like to join me in this ritual, as well as Apollo and Gaia, if they would like to join me with my spirit guides and the ancestors to help me with this ritual to honor the Yule holiday, as well as if there were any gnomes that would like to come and guard my circle while I do this ritual and keep me safe from any negative energies. And then I always add, and if there is any positive entities that would like to come and join me to help me with this ritual, you are welcome. I always make sure that I emphasize it's positive and that it's to help me. And that's pretty much what I do. I don't like the idea of summoning. I don't like the idea of calling or anything like that. I like to say, you know, I would like to have you here, and if you would like to be here, I would really appreciate it. And that's just kind of how I leave it. And then when it comes to ending, I just say, this is the end of my ritual. I would like to thank, this person, this entity for joining me. You are free to leave at your leisure. And that's how I end. I'm sure there are going to be some people who say that's totally wrong, or that it's disrespectful, or, not telling them to leave right away could, negative review and all these things, but it's never been an issue for me. I've always had great rituals and spells using this method. But yeah, everybody's different. Everybody has their own cup of tea, So, yeah. That is all I have for today, though, so thanks for joining me. But yeah, make sure to check out my blog, wicketsartwicket.com. I make 2 posts a week, one on Wednesday and one on Friday, and make sure you subscribe to me here, because I make videos every Monday and Thursday. Also, just a quick thing that I want to mention is I got an Instagram, so if you want to check that out, look down below in the bio, in the description, because there will be a link there. And until next time, blessed be.